Baby Garth said, lock them doors. Garth said, lock them doors, and I'm going to go about my business. You guys, the Testaments finale aired, and we have to talk about it. I don't know how this is going to come across, but I'm going to be honest because we're all family here, right? We're all friends. We can be with each other. Let's get into it. Get it, don't be timid when you in it, plot it. Love a bone, give along, leave it. I don't want no trip, baby, stay like it. My name is Ashley, and this is My Sweet Perspective, where I give my take on all things TV and movie related, and I am here to put you on, okay? Welcome back to the channel, Sweet Peas. If you're new here, my name is Ashley. This is My Sweet Perspective, where I give my take on all the things TV and movie related. Y'all know I am here to put you on, and we're back to talk the Testaments, the finale of season 1. And if I'm honest, this was not my favorite episode, y'all. Was it a bad episode? By no stretch of the imagination. But on my Sweet Pea rating, y'all, this gets a 4 out of 5 Sweet Peas. I really, really, really put 20 on 10. I really, really, really had the highest of expectations for this episode. But I fear they left me with too many unanswered questions, not enough motivation in terms of the characters. And I just, yeah, but we're going to talk about all the things. This may be a little bit lengthy because this was the longest episode of the season, I think, at coming in at just around a full hour, but we have to get into all of the things. So let's not belabor the point. We're going to get into it. So the finale opens up with Agnes washing her face and kind of, freeing herself from the events of last night, and examining the bathroom floor to find blood that now rests on her hands. I pay attention to the symbolism in all of these episodes, and they're very, very intentional with these things. So we have to pay attention to them. Immediately, I said, okay, Agnes is going to be on a mission this episode. Now, going into it, I think what I thought was going to happen is that by the end of this episode, Agnes would be full on revolution. But I did not expect it to present the way that it did. And that might be a reason why this finale didn't quite resonate with me. But anyway, Agnes is there. We find out that Becca has been taken by, they're calling the eyes the whole episode. So maybe there is an offset of the eyes that handle the women's side of the prison, because they were showing up ladies over there that did all of the activities of the eye within that facility. So y'all have to figure that in the comments. They were women, but they were also eyes. Maybe this is a shift or change in the story. I don't know. You guys drop it in the comments and let me know. But we see her in custody, and baby, she's singing the song, rocking back and forth. Aunt Lydia is there to see her. And Aunt Lydia, you are the biggest disappointment of the season. Aunt Lydia, you are the biggest disappointment of this season for me. And I hate that. I really hate that. I was really putting it on that Auntie Lydia was going to come through and save the day, y'all, but it was nothing of the sort. It was old maiden shoes. It was nothing of the sort, but she's there. Take those manacles off of her. She's fine. Do you have everything you need, Becca? Do you have everything you need, everything you want, everything? No, Lydia. No, Lydia. Because of the regime that you helped to build, sister. Like, why are we here after the fact to try to just level set the people at the jailhouse that don't talk to her, don't growl her up, don't do any of that, Lydia? Go on about your business. And so she immediately leaves there. Commander Judd is just in the next room. And now we have to have a conversation around, yeah, this is the biggest failure of your career, Auntie Lydia. It's no longer an us, a we, a together at all. She killed a man at the end of the day. And, Aunt Lydia reminds him, but he was a predator. He was not a good man, and he was going to be salvaged anyway. And Commander Judd is like, yeah, so that wasn't your call to make, nor was it hers. A man has died, and so somebody's got to pay. And so now it's like, okay, well, what are we going to do in this situation? Now, the way events unfurled, I would have never anticipated, because why? But, we're going to get into all of it. Again, I feel like this moment reminded Lydia of Janine, and just how Gilead breaks and can break people. But again, she's helpless. I think she's even more now helpless than she was back in The Handmaid's Tale as far as Lydia was concerned, because you're just ineffectual. Like, I just don't believe that you have been serving in Gilead for all of this time. You're the person that you were before, and you have nothing to offer us in 10 episodes, Lydia. In 10 episodes, all you did was write in a journal. You took no action. And I know this is a stark contrast between the book, because I know that in the book, she gets retribution and does what she needs to do. But over here, I do not like the direction that Aunt Lydia's character is going, y'all. I really just knew it. I knew that she was going to cape and she was going to truly ride for these girls. But alas, that's not the case. Now, as we're hearing the opening, we hear Agnes's narration, and we actually finally hear the details of Dr. Grove's unaliving at the hands of Becca. Now, we saw what we saw, baby, but I don't think we saw everything that we think that we saw. Because, babe, when they said 1 to 4 inch deep punctures all over his body from his genitalia. This was a full psychotic break. This is one of those breaks that happens on Snapped. This is one of those breaks that happens when you have been utterly and completely violated and you're getting it back in blood. Now, what I will say, I've watched this episode twice. There is no definitive statement as to whether or not in the show Dr. Grove did anything to his daughter. However, I believe Paula makes a statement at one point that she's now sullied and we can only imagine what happened to her in the home. I also think we hear it like kind of indirectly mentioned when her mom says it should have been me, though, like I should have taken him out. So I don't know what you guys choose to deduce is I think they leave it ambiguous purposefully, but yeah, whether or not it was for Agnes or it was for her, it had to be done. Psychotic and all, it had to be done, and I'm glad it was. But again, this was divine justice at the end of the day. So now we are back at school. Agnes is trying to put everything, bury it, push it down, as the girls do. But Vidala calls a meeting for all the students and basically makes the statement that Becca will not be at school for the foreseeable future. Some things have happened. Her father is no longer living, and this is what it is. Mind you, Shunammite the whole time is what's going on. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Until Daisy has to be like, girl, shut up. Now, what I will say, and I don't know if this is partly what took me out of it, because I really struggled with Daisy's character this episode, but this, all of a sudden I can cuss freely. I'm doing all of these things in the company of these girls. And I get this is not a normal situation, but it just seems like even more than ever, Daisy does not give a damn if these girls know who she is or not and what her purposes are. I don't know. At one point, we find out, the girls go to the bathroom. Shunammite checks all the stalls because we have to debrief what the hell happened. Daisy, Hulda already have a knowing. Shunammite's really in the dark because she has no clue. And Daisy's like, well, somebody's got to do something. Immediately, Agnes runs out and runs into the arms of a Garth, the second most useless man in Gilead, runs into his arms. He comforts her. Auntie Esty runs out. Unhand her, you scoundrel, you thief, you vagabond. And he's like, hold on, stop. You know what happened with her best friend. Like, let's not be insensitive. And so Esty's like, come on now. Agnes gets her full. Cause baby, I need to touch on him. I need to feel it. I need to feel it. This might be the only time I can. And she collects herself because now what am I going to do? What is the situation? We know later that Becca's on her way out. She's got to be questioned, but right now she's in jail. So Agnes is like, with all of these questions, what do I need to do? SD escorts her back in and she's like, I'm going to call your mother. Agnes is like, I don't give a damn. At this point, I don't give a damn. But Garth's turn of phrase in this moment was have some grace, Esty. And my thing is, Garth, Garth, like what? Like it was true and it's correct. Have grace, but sir, who are you? I still don't know who you are. And we get glimmers, but I think by 10 episodes in, we should have a full handle
on who Garth is and what his motivations are and who he's really working for. We see a couple of moments. We know that he's duty bound by obligation to do something and that he honors that, but we still don't know. Like, we still don't know. Have some grace. And he gives Agnes an embrace. He seemingly listens to, excuse me, he seemingly listens to Agnes and hears her and acquiesces to some of her requests. But part of me is still deep down on the inside, like, yeah, but you're not doing this for the right reasons. Anyway, she goes back in and at this point confronts Vidala because I'm not done yet. I haven't had my fill yet. And I need to talk to you. You said that you would protect us. You said that if we lived, we did everything that we needed to do, that we would be protected. And you did not protect us. You did not protect Becca. And Vidala comes with the political answer. We're doing everything in our power to comfort our dear sister, Becca, and everything will be fine. That's not good enough. That's not good enough. That's not good enough. It's supposed to be by his hand. You are supposed to be the divine justice. You are supposed to be the one that handles these things for us. You're supposed to be our guardians and keepers and protectors, basically, of our virtue. And in this moment, I think this is the first time that I've ever seen Vidala's veneer crack some. And it was like, well, damn, like eyes welling up a little bit and like, there might be something that I need to do. Again, Vidala, do I think she's good? No, I still don't. I still don't. But I mean, at least this was a moment of breaking, a moment of empathy, a moment where I can see that she had some sort of resolve or idea to maybe help the girls in some capacity. Again, it doesn't undo everything else. It doesn't undo the zaps and the pleasure I think that she got from degrading the girls. But I mean, and I think that's what's interesting and really neat about the world of Gilead, both Handmaid's Tale and Testaments, because no one is perfect. And in this type of society, it calls on the worst of you to be on display. So I really give kudos to anybody who can come out of that, even for a moment, because I think this society is designed to create monsters just overall in every capacity. It's not an endearing society that's built on love or faith or any of those things. It's full on patriarchy and misogyny at its full tilt at this point, which also is why I struggle with some of the other areas we're going to get to at Commander Weston. Because at this point, I'm risking it all. Because Commander Weston comes to the house, I need to level set. I know that Agnes and Becca were besties, so I just wanted to come and check. Paula, excuse yourselves. Go get that tea, sister. Okay, you're the help. Go get the tea and let me talk to my girl. And, Agnes has a flat affect because I've just been through hell. I don't even know what's happening, but I know my friend is currently in danger. And so he's like, how are you? What are you feeling? What's going on? She scoots on over and says, I'm worried. I'm worried about my friend Becca. Is she okay? Is there anything you can do? Well, no, not really. There's nothing really I can do. She killed somebody. She killed her father. She killed a man of Gilead. And Agnes is like, well, what if she did it for someone else? I was one of the girls. Commander Weston says, whoa, okay. Thanks for telling me that. I appreciate you. I'll see what I can do. I'll see what I can do. And honestly, Commander Weston, we know he's a apex predator. We know that he is a villain and a DV distributor. But it's really telling to me that he's the only one who actually, only man this episode. I mean, Garth did a little something, but he's the only man who really took action to do kind of anything to help Agnes. And his help was twofold, actually. The help was, okay, I can get Becca a pass to go home for a couple days before the questioning, but then also, I'm going to let you out of this marriage. Now, will it bring shame, excess, all that? But yes, but will it save me a lifetime of misery from getting beat on? Absolutely. He's a full on abuser. But again, a broken clock, I guess, is right 2 times a day. He did what needed to be done, what no one else was able to do at this point. Now, Daisy's spinning because I need to do something. I need to help. And she's confronted Garth, and Garth is like, girl, go to hell. And she's like, well, Mayday can go to hell. because I need help. I'm trying to do what I need to do, X, Y, or Z. Next thing we know, June's on the thing, Mayday, Mayday, Breaker 1919 to the Shepherd. We have our live wire or our loose cannon. We're going to zip that up tonight. So 10 p.m., we're picking up Daisy. We're absconding with Daisy to the border to have a conversation with June because June decided to come out of hiding. And listen, June says, people die every day. Sometimes you got to sacrifice one to save the many. We know June's philosophy. Listen, if it's not buttoned down, it can go. Whatever I need to do, whoever I need to sacrifice for the greater good, I'll do that. Now, one thing, June is not my favorite person in the universe. Again, she's just it is what it is. But is she the heart of the revolution? She absolutely is. And does she love Hannah? Down bad. She went back to Gilead at 50, 11 times, all about that baby. And so to find out now that this is one of the girls that Daisy's interacting with, it kind of changes the game a little bit. Daisy goes from completely, I'm not doing this, get me out of Gilead, I'm scared as hell, they're going to take me out, to now, I'm Captain Canada, I'm Captain Crusader, I'm Captain America, I'm going to save all the girls. Strap me up. I am Captain Save-A-Ho. I am going to do it all on my back. Since Mayday can't do it, I'm smarter than Mayday now. I'm going to do it. I'm going to figure it out. And June is like, you're going to die. June said, you're going to die. So come on, get your butt home. She says, listen, these girls are amazing. Hulda has never said an unkind word to anyone. Shunammite will bite a bee. All of these girls, Becca did something insane to save, one of our sisters. And Agnes is the bravest person I know. How old is Agnes? Is she your age? Oh God, that's Hannah. Agnes McKenzie. Oh, that's the one you left behind. Now, Daisy got a little bit flippant at the mouth. And she was talking a lot with her tongue, y'all. And these are minor things. When you're watching things and you've been critiquing stuff for so long, you notice them. And I don't know, drop it in the comments. Did y'all notice anything different with how Daisy was speaking in this dialogue between her and June? It was very, I don't know, it took me out of the moment. But basically, she's like, I can do it. June says, no, you can't. You're going to die. And Daisy says, listen, let me take the chance. And eventually, June was going to relent anyway. Honestly, I know she tried to protest a little bit, but we all know all about Agnes Hannah. She's going to ride for her, whatever needs to be done. Daisy, if you got to die for it, go ahead and die for it. So now we have to get back into Gilead before daylight. We're already breaking curfew. Garth has a plan. Let me give you the cigarette. I'll bring you into Aunt Lydia. So, you can't smoke, Daisy. Well, I couldn't sleep. I was upset about Becca. Who are you upset about? Becca. Becca, because you played Aunt Lydia. You didn't do anything you needed to do. Somebody had to do something, and it was me. I said, girl, expose yourself to everybody then. Expose yourself to everybody then, sister. Lydia was like, basically, I know who you are, girl. At this point, listen, I know who you are. And I'm glad you feel for these girls because I have always felt for these girls. They're like my daughters. I'm their mother. Daisy said, you're not a mother. You're not a real mother. Real mothers die for their kids. I know a mother who damn near died for hers. But no, you let them be abused in all manner of evil. And Lydia says, okay, Daisy, you're going to go get some punishment or No, I'm not. She says, yeah, you're ill-equipped. You did nothing. Basically, I'm paraphrasing. She didn't say all that, but she said it. You know what I mean? She didn't have to say it because the sentiment was felt, because by the time Daisy walks out, Lydia was like, well, go on, girl. You don't get no punishment. It's fine. It's fine. Now, at this point, after she's been, read the riot act by Daisy, Vidala and Lydia have to sit down and have a conversation. And now it all comes out. Now, this was a piece of resolution that we did get in this finale, and that was the confrontation finally about the stadium. Oh, you was going to take me out. Why have you always hated me? And Lydia basically says to Vidala, it's because everything always came easy to you. I had to work. I had to get out of the mud, every single thing that I have now. But now that I'm in this precarious situation, you should be straight to ascend the ladder, to ascend the throne, to claim the crown, and do all of those things. And Vidala says, that's not what I want. I want to work together. Vidala, I don't trust you. Like it was so much pick me seeking the approval of Commander Judd or any of the commanders for me throughout this entire season. This isn't enough. But basically in this moment, she says, Lydia, listen, we are God's instruments, like Agnes told me before, and we have to do something about this. We've been quiet long enough. And so they concoct this raggedy ass plan. But again, a plan I guess that needed to happen where mama's gonna take the blame. You're going to get up there, Becca, and you're going to tell them people that, listen, my mama did it. I didn't do it. I'm just taking the blame for it. Hey, it keeps a fertile woman in Gilead because other than that, how did y'all concoct this and why was this the thing? But mama says, listen, it should have been me. It wasn't, but it should have been. So she's willing to take that on for her daughter. And I said, well, that was a demonstration of love of a Gilead mama. And we take what we can get, but it now that Agnes is back home, off of this initial thing, we have a conversation with Paula, who is scrubbing the bathroom floors like a complete and total crackhead, baby. The facade, the veneer has completely cracked, and we can see this psychopathic hoe for exactly who she is, who I said she was the entire time. And it's like, are you happy now? You ruined everything. Ho, you just wanted him to break me like a horse. So yeah, I'm a little bit happy now. What did you do? What did you do to destroy my life? And my thing is, it's got to be more than reputation here. It's got to be more than reputation here. Do you hate Agnes because she's black? Do you hate her because of who her mama was? Do you hate her because her daddy seemingly likes her, loves her a little bit? What is it? What is it? And side note, the conversation between Commander Mackenzie and Agnes Hannah pissed me off as well because what he's asking you, girl, and you're just not gonna tell him. So what happened, girl? He called off the engagement, but I'm gonna try to save it. But what happened? Do you know? No, Daddy. No, no. In the conversation with Paula, we find out that, diseased roots make for diseased children, broken, sinful people become sinful, all of that, because you know who your mama was, right? Your mama was this, and they wanted to send you in parts to her. And they should have let them, but your daddy said no. Your daddy said they couldn't dismember you as a baby and send the parts to your mama who was a terrorist. And Agnes is just broken and like, oh, you think this helped Becca? This didn't help Becca. Becca's still sullied because who knows what happened to her. And now she done unalive this man. She's a lunatic. What good do you think that's going to come from? And Agnes says, Garth. Garth can marry. Why would he? This is his chance to get out. Why would he? And you let her drag you down with you. Now, Paula, just go directly to hell. There's nothing redeeming about a Paula, never will be. And I really struggle with Commander Mackenzie being like choosing her. It's so weird. Can we put her out to pasture at this point? Just bitter, raggedy, and terrible. And I just wish her nothing but the worst. And so Agnes immediately puts on her little Red Riding Hood cape and dips out because now I have to go see Garth. Let me go to Garth's house with all of these other people because now I can just travel Gilead freely. Before I was afraid of my shadow, but now I'm free because I have to save my friend. Your friend's already saved. The aunties have already come up with a plan. This to me, why are you doing this? Who is this going to help? Really, it's not going to help Becca. It's not going to help Garth, and it's not helping you, sister. You've already, decimated kind of whatever expectation of a future you had before in Gilead. So now what's this going to do? So she goes to Garth and appeals to his better nature and says, you need to marry Becca. And he's like, why? Why? Me with Ty. And she's like, yeah, and it's hard coming from me. I wouldn't just say this just to say this because you know how I feel, Gara. And he's like, yeah, girl, I don't know. Go home, Agnes. So she goes home. Next thing we know, we're getting ready for our wedding day. Now, this was a scene that I didn't need it. I don't, what was it for? Like, no, seriously, what was it for? Becca is clearly medicated in a state. She knows that she's the cause of her mother impending doom. And now she's got to marry this man that she don't want no parts of. But she's going to take this shot. I'm going to help her get dressed as she's out of it completely. And we're going to share a kiss. And I know everything's going to be okay because you're here, Agnes. It feels like something just done just to do it because it does. She's a zombie at this moment. She's barely conscious. She's not received any of the help that she needs. She's still very broken. And Agnes is there to protect, defend, and to keep and to put her life's future on the line for Becca. We get her down the aisle some kind of way. Vidala, she drops her bouquet. We're getting down there to Garth. Garth has just been made commander and immediately goes to the next room to marry Becca because that's the right thing to do. That's my obligation. That's my duty to Agnes. Some things y'all gotta make sense. Some things gotta fit like puzzle pieces. They gotta fit. And I don't know. I just struggled with some of it. I'm gonna just set it there. But anyway, they get married, and Agnes is like my hopes and dreams out the window, but it was all worth it. She and Daisy, meet on the steps, and it's like, yeah, I was always afraid. This was my greatest fear has come upon me. Like I had always thought I would screw everything up, and I managed to. Daisy says, I'm sorry, girl. I'm sorry, girl. And she says, but it was worth it. It was worth it for what? This is no kind of future. This is no kind of future for Becca, y'all's favorite. Anyway, Garth gets her, puts her in the car, collects her, and like, let's go home, girl. Let's go home. Still, she's super medicated, can barely walk. He carries her up to the room, puts her in the bed, takes off her shoes, turns out the nightlight, shuts the door, and locks it. Because yeah, you're not about to play with me. You're not about to play with me. Let me lock this door. Because I lock them doors. I don't. Okay. We also saw Becca's mama pass as they were getting married. The end of one thing, the beginning of the new, the circle of life. Again, I fear Becca should have been with the aunts, being cared for, and eventually an aunt, not a wife. It feels like y'all just threw this in for dramatic effect. I don't know, but y'all let me know because we haven't all seen eye to eye throughout this whole season. So you guys drop it in the comments and let me know. Now we get back to the steps of the venue. And Daisy and Agnes are still having a conversation. And she's like, I think your name is Hannah and your mom is June Osborne, the terrorist. So I guess people who early in the episode said people knew about June, you're right. They should have known. I guess she was on billboards. Because the terrorist, June Osborne, that's my mother. Why would you say that? And I'm thinking, Agnes, why are you yelling? Did Gilead somehow change overnight where we don't have to keep things quiet and be secretive? But she's struggling to do that. This divine need for justice. I know where you got it from. You got her mom. I met her. I met your mom, and she loved you. And she would fight. And so now Agnes runs home, goes to her little what's its galore, and finds this old embroidery or piece of paper, whatever it was, and remembers herself writing her name, Hannah, and underlining it. And now it all makes sense. I'm my mother's daughter. I'm my mother's daughter. Now we're back at school because now I'm back in my plums. Auntie Lydia says, Agnes, this has never happened before. You were brutally rebuffed, and that's a mark against you, but we're gonna work really hard to get you ready. Well, there's another mark against me. My mother was a terrorist, June Osborne. Lydia says, listen, I knew June. And I'll tell you one thing, she didn't give up, and neither will we. What? 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 Okay. Meanwhile, June gets a delivery, a honey pot, a honey jar with an inscription, with a note where Daisy is saying she is building her 3-girl army in Gilead and she's going to bring it down. She's going to do what Mayday never could because the most dangerous thing in the world are teenage girls. Okay. Now, at the end, we do get the girls linking up. We see Shunammite, we see Daisy, we see Agnes Hannah. It very much gave the craft. I did get my closing shot with Agnes's face looking a little bit like June in that moment. And we'll see what happens. June is excited because Daisy's going to carry on the mission and maybe she can do it. Maybe she can. We will see. I just this is the army. Anyway, the unanswered questions, because this is what really impacted my rating overall. Again, what I look for in a finale is always partial resolution. And then I also look for a cliffhanger. I expect to be fully acquainted with my characters and to know their motivations. I don't think those are large asks, but I don't think that I got all of that. I am left with so many more questions. And let's go through them. So Garth. Bound by duty, yes, but what side are you on? I still don't know, Garth. I still don't know the method to your madness. You married Becca and locked her in the room, but to what end and for what purpose? All because of Agnes, who you really had a polite affection for, if that? It doesn't give that you care anything about anything except for your mission. So why now? Why this? Why in the finale? I still don't know. I still don't know who Garth is. Judd and Penny, what the hell happened? Is Penny yet alive? Is she gone on to be with the Lord? Where's Penny at? And Judd, you just left him as this maniacal villain, but we still never got the fullness of that. I don't know. Where you at? Vidala and Lydia is playing raggedy. Y'all are our elders of the aunties. You guys should have been able to come up with something super incredible. Did it work? Absolutely. A mother's sacrifice. I get it. It all comes full circle. June, the sacrifice. Lydia trying to make herself a mother. All of those things. But for me, Paula, the bitter open book, we still don't fully know who Paula is. We know she's a full heinous atrocity, but outside of that, why? Why are you like this? Again, can I get more of the motivation? We had 10 episodes, and I feel like if y'all wouldn't have been giving us those 30-minute episodes, we could have really gotten deeper into some of these characters, in my opinion. As far as the other girls in the weddings, I guess they be damned. I guess they be damned. We don't know. I guess we'll see them on the flip side. I, Agnes and Commander Mackenzie, Mackenzie is so much useless. Is so useless still, and I expected to find out for better or for worse what side of the fence he was on. I don't know how we go a whole season, and I'm still confused about allegiances and sides and things like that. I feel like I want to know that, and I also want to know, Agnes, why you still feel as though you can't tell him the truth. You've heard what he's done to save you in the past. Why wouldn't you confide in him still? But you confided in Weston. I just, Daisy's whiplash. For the entire better part of the season, you've been begging to go home. You're afraid of Gilead, and now you're a fearless wonder? Becca's placement. She's unwell. By the hand of Gilead, for sure, but unwell. Does she need to be in society? Lock them doors. Again, final verdict 4 out of 5 sweet peas. This was not, nothing about the season has been bad, but I do have a lot of questions. I do have a lot of things that this finale did not answer that was in my expectation. Some of the dialogue, especially between Daisy and June, felt very awkward to me. And I hadn't felt that in any of our scenes up to now. For whatever reason, that was just very off putting. The acting carried, the girls emoted. All of these babies are going to deliver. We already know Elizabeth Moss is going to act down every single time. That's never been an issue. So I don't know if it was the writing, I don't know if it was the direction. This specific episode, in certain scenes, not all, but something just felt, for me, disconnected, and it could just be me. But again, overall, 4 out of 5 sweet peas, still one of the better things that's been on TV lately. A good episode, a frustrating finale. Both can be true, sweet peas. But y'all, that's what I got for it. You guys let me know what you thought. What is your Sweet Pea rating of the episode? If you're still here and you've stuck with me through this entire season, thank you, girl. Thank you, boy. Thank you for being a sweet pea. Thank you for being a part of the community. So much more content coming on the way. And you know we'll be back for a season 2. Listen, we will be here. But if you're still here, thank you for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, hype the video, and be sure to check out our live discussion later this week where we will get into the thick of it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all in the next video.